What the hell am I reading? What you are looking at here is a list of historians who lived in the first century. This is a list of individuals who actually made it their business to document historical events. This is critically important because as we read in the Bible being what Christians have been persuaded is real history. We come across the first miracle of Jesus, which was turning water into wine. And if you keep reading, you will come across another miracle and another one and another one, till eventually you'll end up with 37 individual miraculous events that Jesus Christ performed according to the Bible. Now think about this as you're reading the list of these quote unquote silent historians. These are 37 these are 37 individual miraculous events that Christians have, once again I say, persuaded was the truth by way of the King James Version of the Bible. And ain't nobody on this list had anything to say about even one of them. Now, I use the word persuaded specifically here because nobody in this particular time in history believed in anything, because that word did not exist. Let me say that again. I use the words persuaded specifically here because nobody in this particular time in history believed in anything, because that word believe did not exist. That word believe derived from the Greek verb peitho, P-E-I-T-H-O. And that word means persuade. It means to win over the public by mastering the rules of persuasion. I didn't say mastering the rules of truth. I didn't say telling it like it is. I said mastering the rules of persuasion. Today, we call that magic. In that they share the same core goal, which is guiding how people see and experience the world. Both crafts rely on mind control, storytelling, managing expectations to shape what the audience believe they know is true. Today we call that the Christian faith. Believing that you know something is true or factual is when we can all look at how that magician is using what we all know is a real person with a real sword to cut that real person in half. Now we are looking at this with our own two eyes. But because the magician has mastered the art of persuasion, are we all left with, now how did he do that? How did he do that? Because the person or people who have been persuaded of such a trick are left with no evidence as to how it was done. Today, we call that believing. Now, one of the core pillars in that day of mastering the art of persuasion is this idea called the logos. Mastering the logos was to use clear logic, facts, and structured arguments to persuade. In the first century, there was a famous wealthy historian whose name is on this list by the name of Philo of Alexandria, who actually mentions the logos extensively across most of his surviving works. In one of his works called, after it's translated, it's called On the Creation. This work describes the Logos as the divine blueprint or thought of He that is, containing the intelligible world of ideas used to fashion the physical cosmos. See, this is why people think that God is Jesus and all of this. Jesus is God. This is why they call Jesus the Son of God, and God in essence is Jesus, all of that. But the He that is today, Christians call that or him Jesus Christ. Now in the New Testament, Jesus is explicitly identified as the Logos 3 times. John 1:1, John 1:14, and then again in the Revelations 19 chapter 13 verse. At the same time, Philo never mentions the individual who Christians have been persuaded is the Son of God, who performed 37 miracles in any of his works. It's in the Bible, but it ain't in reality. It wouldn't have taken but 2 weeks in those days for news like this to spread from Capernaum, which is on the northern shore of the Sea of Galilee, to Alexandria, Egypt, to where Philo was. What I'm trying to show you here is the Logos, who according to the Bible is Jesus, and Philo are living at the same damn time in human form. And Philo ain't said a damn thing about not one miracle. Those 37 miracles are also 37 opportunities for verification for any of the rest of these historians on this list who were living during that specific time in the 1st century, to write about it, to catalog it, to make money off of it. 37 opportunities for any historian living during that specific time in the 1st century to make a name for themselves. Not only did any of these historians have anything to say about Jesus or his miracles, they didn't have anything to say about Mary, Joseph, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which is supposed to be held as good news, and not now disciple. What the hell am I reading?